go on here. Do I have goody. Sewer bills, that'll be fun.
We are on and recording.
Okay, so we're gonna start. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So we are going to forego the assessor meeting, and because it's going to be going into executive session that we're talking about. Involve legal matters and personnel. Okay, I need a motion to sign the warrants.
Can I make a motion to sign the warrants?
Yes, you can.
I'll second.
All in favor? Did you get that?
Yep.
We don't have any abatements to review, so there's
no.
nothing to go through
I don't.
for the assessor. We just have other matters to discuss with him. That's why we're not having a meeting.
Was I here?
There's a few abatements under review, but they're not finished yet.
When will that be scheduled for?
Well, we, probably the next meeting, but I'm not sure. I have to talk to him. He just said there wasn't anything for the meeting, so since we're talking to him at executive session, we're not gonna have any. Oh, yes, motion to sign, the warrant. We already did that. We gotta sign.
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes of April 9th and April 15th.
Great, in case you were there. Perfect.
As written?
As written.
Ooh.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Well,
Were you for?
well, I'm just checking. The 15th, I cannot,
Yeah. It's just a one page.
yep. Happy about the
So you can
9th.
give us a half wave.
The front part of my hand versus the
Okay.
back part.
So, Justin, you're here. Come on up. I can't remember what, there's something that, a new form that has to be filled out, and did you fill it out for us?
It's the same exact one as they did last year. I don't know why the one that they have on file won't stand, but
They just want them done every year,
Yeah,
probably. They
so-
just want to know that we're keeping track of
I
you.
have an X near the sections I need, or I was open prior to December of 2018 on grandfather.
Right,
so I
we
just
remember that.
need, I don't know if you want to pass this around. so you
Yeah,
can see
oh,
what
yeah.
you can check off
Well, we need to make a motion to
Okay.
approve of it,
already. The
But I-
same form as last
but it's
year.
all nothing's changed,
Nothing's changed, no.
so.
Did we need a motion to sign that?
We do, but Nancy's taking a look at it
Oh,
quickly.
okay.
Yeah, it's just really
Standard.
that we would check off that the caregiver retail store operated with municipal approval prior to December 13th, 2018, which.
Okay, and which we already approved of,
Right,
so
which
is there
then-
signature lines for us?
Legal name and title of the authorized municipal officer, so we can authorize Suzette to sell it.
She's not a municipal officer.
Well, okay, so then you can
Just
sign it.
chair of the board.
Yeah, and the chair of the
Congratulations.
board could sign it, and then
Oh,
there is
goody.
a signature.
Do this guy.
Do not sign until witnessed by a notary, it's gotta be witnessed.
It's gotta be witnessed, well then, that's one reason why we need Suzette here, she's a notary.
She can notarize it.
Okay,
Yeah.
pass it down,
And then,
but I need a
yeah, and
motion to
that's
sign
only-
it.
And that's only because of him being in business prior to 18, we, as a board, do not have to take action for a
Was
marijuana
it,
business
you were
in town.
operating with municipal approval, municipal, was a yes?
Yeah, he'd have to check that yes box, so he didn't have to check, but, or we could.
I didn't check it, just.
I think I'm gonna check it,
Yeah.
'cause it's yes.
I wasn't sure
And
if you
then,
guys wanted to, or-
Is this supposed to be in blue?
I don't know.
Do
I
we
don't
have a
think it
blue
matters,
pen?
that's just what I-
Yep, yep.
That's just what I had at the house.
Yeah,
That's
send
okay.
it back to us, we'll change it.
And then
Okay,
it's
so you make a motion that I can sign this, and I need a second?
Yes, thank you.
First, second, all in
Okay.
favor? I guess I
Yeah.
sign for myself.
And it just has to be notarized on the bottom there.
Okay. Do not sign until witnessed. Are you witnessing this, Suzette?
Yep, I can see out of the corner of my eye, I see you.
Is it the 23rd?
Hope
Yes.
so.
It is.
Yes.
Okay, there's the
Couple-
notary
That's what we
stuff.
advertise.
Okay, so she's notarizing that,
Right.
and then, do you send it off to
I
the?
send it off to the state.
Okay, so we'll
You
be able to give
Grab
you,
it over
do you
there.
need the original?
can, no,
You
You
wanna,
sure?
well, I would,
You probably do. We'll make you a copy and give you
Okay.
the original.
perfect.
I'm pretty sure you should have
yeah,
it.
we should keep one on file.
I can
Well, we
come-
do, we're going to.
Come over the next couple of days and check back in and grab it.
Yeah, you can come get it tomorrow.
Okay, perfect, awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
everybody.
Jeff.
No problem, Sheriff
Appreciate it.
Patrol Memorandum of Understanding. So they decided they have enough people to give us a little coverage. I don't know what you,
Yes.
how you wanna do with, what you wanna do with that.
I would make a motion to accept it with conversation after the second.
I'll second it for conversation.
With conversation.
So, I look at this the same as I would,
So it's a
Our-
motion and second, and now we're discussing.
right.
Do you have the motion and second on that?
Yes.
Okay.
All done.
I mean, I look at it as we would our animal control officer or our shellfish person. We require them to fill out a paper indicating what they've done for the month. And
I
all we're-
agree.
all we're doing is handing them 5,000 and you don't know whether they are coming in. And it can be something as simple as a piece of paper that says, I don't care when they come in, that's up to them.
But,
But
after the
write
fact,
down- but
we
write-
should know when they came.
Write down what day you come in, the hours you spent
Yeah.
here, whether you wrote somebody a warning, a defect, a summons, arrested somebody.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
my-
something more detailed other than just here's your check.
I agree.
My only concern about it was that, they stated that it was to concentrate mostly on reducing drugs, drug trafficking, and crimes associated with the use and sale of illicit drugs. Which is great, but we also might be looking for law enforcement around some other issues in town that we're trying to address, especially if we
Having,
get any, any kind of ordinances or violations that like, I don't know, that was my only concern with what I read there, is that they kind of identifying that it's.
I
they're
think it's
only
more
gonna-
like covert kind of operation that they could say that they were here for a few hours, but they're not gonna tell you what happened.
having been an administrator, that just looks good on paper, sounds good to people.
Well, I understand,
You know,
but
so-
no, it sounds not good
that's-
to me.
Well,
you know
no, but
what
I'm
I
saying
mean?
that it fluffs it up a little bit. I mean, you ought to have something that they indicate what they've done, as we do for our other people.
Did we never got reports in the
Well,
previous years,
no.
because we had them for like
We got
5 or 6
kind
years
of like
or something, right?
reports, kind of like when they sent the invoice, it would say officer 4 hours, but it
Oh,
didn't,
okay.
it didn't give any details.
But I
Well,
would,
they really couldn't give a lot.
but wouldn't you
of
think
them,
if it were
Well,
some
you
sort
know-
of operation they were working on, that wouldn't count towards the,
It shouldn't count for
Yeah,
our hours,
yeah.
because it,
right,
but
that's
I
what I
mean,
would think.
I mean, if they give you some sort of an idea of what they did, I mean, you don't want them coming in and spending from 8 to 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't wanna dictate when they come in, but you'd have an idea of what day they come
I
in,
don't
what
think
time.
$5,000 is a lot of hours.
I
so-
don't either.
No,
No,
No.
I mean,
No,
you-
because it's increased since the last time, it used to
Right.
be like $15 an hour
So you
just
get
for
about
the
50.
vehicle,
Yeah,
now
way
it's
more than that
30 or
now.
40.
Yeah.
45 hours or whatever that figures out to be.
Yeah,
it.
it wasn't a whole lot.
Well, I
for-
think that it would be nice if they gave us some sort of report, and we'll see how that goes, and if it's something we need more of, then we can request more.
Well, I mean,
Let's
it would
start with
let us-
a monthly report.
It would let us know how busy they were, and if we needed to add to their hours, or they're not doing
Well,
anything and we should.
It
come
would
back.
also
Might
give
be a
us
lot to
something to
ask.
say in the August meeting when the article comes due again,
Yeah.
to give them money for the coming year.
I think monthly might be a lot to ask.
Okay,
No,
quarterly?
really.
Yeah, maybe some.
I mean,
Quarterly.
These are actually full-time people versus our part-timers that do our shellfish or animal control officers, we ask them
Yeah,
to
but
do.
but they're not exclusively.
I think a
Lubec.
quarterly report's
Right,
fine with me.
Right, yeah.
April, May, June, so we need one for July, we need one for the end of July, so we had something to say at the
Yeah.
August meeting.
That makes sense.
So I think when we clarify with, Mike Crabtree,
I talked to him and he had to get a hold of, I got the card.
because then, or with Barry, is
No,
Barry
I got
still?
a card, yes, he's still there, but I got a card for the, patrol lieutenant.
So just to say that it would be nice if we had some sort of
Yep.
report of the 3 months, so that when we go to our
I mean,
town
it shouldn't
meeting
be
August
difficult, 'cause
6th,
they're
that we
already
can
writing
try
it
to
down anyway.
pass
Yeah,
the next
Yes,
article.
ma'am, that's what he said.
So I think that would encourage them to do it.
Mhm.
So I make a
Suzette.
motion that we approve of the expenditure for this last 3 months with some sort of a report at the end of July that we need for our annual meeting. And then going forward, quarterly reports.
Right.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Suzette, I think it could be something as simple as the day of the week you're in, the hours that you're in during that day, whether you wrote a warning, a
Yeah.
defect, a summons, or an arrest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just few
You just want to see,
categories.
I stopped so-and-so
No,
for this and that,
I-
just,
well, no, I
Well,
don't
no,
care. I
not,
just,
not
Yeah.
people, just,
No,
yeah, no
yeah.
names. That would be helpful.
just something to help justify.
Okay, sewer, oh, this is gonna be fun. Let's skip 3 for a minute and go to Machias Area Little League. They have a request for donation.
yes.
Isn't that something that we should put on our annual?
Yeah, why weren't there third party requests? Just wondering
Because
why.
that's not something they normally do, it's kinda like sporadic. We've gotten it like the last couple of years, but we didn't get it before that, and then we got it like
Yeah, 'cause it's
one,
been the last couple of years.
Are
It's
the-
like, you know,
Lubec kids able to play?
there are
Or
some that,
Machias?
that's what it
There's a-
reported last year.
this is here, yes.
Yes.
Some that play.
Oh, okay, I'm not finding it. And this-
I mean,
Didn't say in this one.
And you did do this last year, or you didn't?
We did.
We did, but, and another reason why it's probably not under third party is there's a T-ball fund that we have some money in, that
That
we've
we
been,
could use.
that Renee
I
was
think it'd be
taking out
great if
there.
we had a $300 banner in the outfield for the people to see the town of Lubec to help
Yeah.
the Little League personally. That's my opinion. I don't know what your opinion is. Especially if we have money. Do we have $300
Yes.
in there?
was
Well,
like
I'll make a
7.
motion, we expend that T-ball fund on a $300 banner in the outfield to support the Little League. Can I have a
So-
second?
I'll second.
So where's it coming out of?
T-ball, there's some kind of a T-ball fund that we've had back in the day. I know.
Yes, it was way back, like
Way,
20
way,
years ago.
even before my time, believe it or not.
And what kind of money is it?
Yeah.
Not much. I think it had like 1,100 at one time. Maybe Renee's taken a couple, 300 out of it 2 or 3 times, so it's probably like 700. I meant to
But
look at
anyway,
it,
we
but-
have enough for this.
And then maybe we can suggest
on-
that they
put them on the
get into
third
the
party.
third part, only because
Yes,
we're
at
not
some
gonna have a
point,
T-ball account.
at
for a
some
year.
point, it's gonna be a
Right,
third.
it's gonna have to come to the regular
Yeah.
budget, third-party proposals.
Okay, well, did we vote?
Yeah,
All in
second?
favor?
Okay.
It's townwide cleanup, when is that?
It is, oh, I put it on there. Oh, it is the end of, the 17th of May to the end of May.
May to the end of May? And
May
the-
17th
To
till
May
the end,
31.
yes.
And so there's gonna be an extra dumpster up here to put
Mhm.
things in, and
Yes.
you get bags from up here?
You have to check with Deb Seavey, she's the one that come up and asked for that. So she's the one that's
Okay.
organized
When
it.
do we put the garbage cans back around to, like, what is our contract? Did we
I
have,
think it's May, the middle of May.
But May
think it's
15th or
May-
so?
Yeah, so I think it's with the,
I know that's
because
what,
it-
I just know, I was in the LCOC yesterday to drop off some stuff, and the kids they were doing, beach garbage art, and they were down at Maui Beach for less than an hour. And the amount of garbage that they picked up and spread on a blue tarp in the hallway was revolting. It was like
but
20
that,
or
you know,
better
that
bottles
trash
and-
comes from all over. It
Oh,
doesn't-
I know,
It
but
comes from, you know, our neighbors across the way.
Yeah, oh, I understand. I'm just like, I'm just, and I know that, you know, putting trash receptacles around produces the problem of putting things that don't belong in them, and you know, it's just, it was
Right,
just very
well, I
discouraging.
think that
to
a
see.
lot of it's washed up the shore,
Right,
what you
it
would have
just,
had to
you
see,
know.
if it was right on the shoreline, if it's right on the water line, then that's where it came from.
No, I was like on the behind the school and in the
Well, that's different.
yeah, you know,
That's
they did the walk to Maui Beach, and they
I
collected
think that
garbage.
the nonprofits that have that Maui Beach Walk should provide a trash can there. I agree with
That
that.
would be a good idea. But
I
then
think
who's
we should.
picking it up and supervise? I don't know. Anyway, it was just really discouraging to see the amount of garbage that, you know, was picked up in, like, you know, 40 something minutes by 8 little kids. You know, it was just
Yeah,
like,
that
ugh.
is, that's
There's no donating
overwhelming.
a bin for up here at the town hall? Don't they usually do that? Put
What?
next to one up at the town hall? Yeah.
They usually do.
For the townwide cleanup.
Yeah.
So, so for a more not so pleasant conversation about the sewer rate information, I did quite a bit of of calculations on what I believe we should be doing. We should be balancing the budget on the sewer overhead on the yearly expenses, not including the sewer upgrade, just the yearly expenses. This year's passed at 322, 388. So I tried to arrive, first I asked Suzette to get information from the other towns of what the rates are. And she contacted Machias, Calais, and Eastport. And if you look in your packet, you'll see the breakdown. And I broke it down further. I figured out what it was quarterly. Let me see where my calculations are here. Oh. So, Machias is 186 a quarter. The lowest one is 151 a quarter. There's a range there. Calais is 190 a quarter. Eastport is 195 a quarter. Anywhere from 165 to 195, depending on the cubic feet. Right now, we are at 344 for 900 cubic feet, which is half of what anybody else is paying. Less than half. I said that wrong. More than half. So I tried to come up with a suggested rate increase. I know nobody wants to hear that. I sure don't want to hear it. I have 2 sewer bills. I know you have at least 2 or 3 or 4. 2. I don't know how many Mark has. So I took the 322, 338, and the first I divided by the how many bills go out, which is 437, and I came up with 738 divided by 4 is 184, which would be 184 a quarter. But then I thought, well, there are people that pay extra. They don't just pay the minimum, they pay more because they use more water. So I decided I would take the annual budget and I would subtract our sewer commitment for the last 4 quarters, which would give what we actually brought in, which would include anybody that paid extra. So then I got to, the difference was 145,000 divided by 437, came out to be a difference of 83 per person, and I added that to 86, and I came up with 159.58. That would balance our budget if we raise the rates to 159. 159. Just leave it 159. Close enough. Per quarter, which is still under any of our neighboring people. So I think that it's fair. I do think we could consider, right now it includes 900 cubic feet. You might want to say that because it went up, that it includes maybe 1,200 cubic feet, and it would have to be re-tabulated in the computer so that when they do the billing, it's all been, there's the scale here. I'll show you the scale. So this is the scale, and it starts at 900 and goes up, and with some kind of a mathematical formula. But I think that 900 is a little low. If we're going to raise it, we should maybe give them a little more cubic feet. Not a lot, but maybe 1,200, which looks like a lot of the other towns start with 1,200.
Oh, do they? Okay.
So that would be my suggestion. And then, of course, this would be on the June bill. And we'd have time to tabulate the difference starting at 1,200 and what the new rate is and going upwards 1,200, 13, 14. That's what's in here. But it's in the computer, so we'll need the IT guy to help us. Or Trio.
Trio's simple.
Trio will help us. So that's something that we can do as a select board. I know it's not a pleasant topic.
And we've been notoriously low for
A very
Yeah.
long time.
long.
And now that we're coming across now that the taxpayers have graciously agreed to, I think quite a while ago, to pick up the loan on the sewer upgrade for 29 years, the least the ratepayers should do is pick up the annual budget.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
the taxpayers shouldn't be paying the bill for,
They shouldn't be
No, no.
picking up the slack, no, which is what's been happening. So if we start this in June, then it's gonna reflect for the new rate. We'll have to revisit the new rate. It's a little higher for next year, but we haven't passed that yet, so I think this is a big start.
I just have a simple question of, do we wanna make it 160 instead of 159?
Even at, yeah, I see your,
But, well,
I
159,
don't know,
58.
159 looks better. Isn't that what all the retailers do? It's,
Okay,
no.
159's fine,
Well,
Probably spent 8 years ago and ripped the Band-Aid off. Because, I mean, I even can think of maybe 8 or 9 years ago when we were in the 60s and
Yeah.
Eastport was paying like
I know.
122.
We need to start,
what,
and
20
then next
years,
year we'll
stayed
do
at
the same
50,
thing. We'll
60.
revisit what we brought in and the difference, and we'll review the rate again the same time next year.
And it's, as we talked about with Bruce that night, it's something that should have been done back in 2000, or 2020, or whenever the last time there was any,
It's, well, Renee
Review of
updated it in 21, in
Right.
18 or 19, and then in
But
21.
I don't think
but
it ever
it's-
balanced the budget.
No,
No.
no.
Well,
No,
we're
but
just
it's
gonna
only
have
like
to bite the
$10 or
bullet.
$20.
right, but the increases were
But it
But I-
should,
steady and attempts to get closer and not.
and it
after
should have been
looking, yeah.
increased from 5610 a little bit each year,
Well,
Right.
instead of just leaving it for 20 years and you're
But
at
we
5610.
didn't go back and charge them for all of the
No.
years we went in
No, no.
arrears, so I think we're
Yeah.
starting
Fresh.
fresh now,
I agree.
so. We need a motion
Oh,
and a second.
I'll make the motion that we increase quarterly payments to 159 for the 437 or more as we grow
Ratepayers,
ratepayers for the sewer department.
that's for the upcoming year,
it's coming, starting in June.
Starting in
in
June,
yeah,
June.
next billing.
next quarter.
Yeah, because the rate's going up again, so we should just
We
start with
should,
that.
we should really throw ourselves out there to be revisited a
Yes.
year from
Well,
now.
yes, we'll
Actually-
revisit it,
So,
yeah.
so I'll adjust the motion to just say that we begin an annual review, and this year I'm looking to
For
propose
159.
that
Okay,
just
do we
be
have
the
a
addition
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's, as we said, I would rather have had Dicky last year spend 54,000 on paving somewhere than helping make things even down below.
Oh, I know. Okay, where were we? Thank you, painful. So, nomination papers are available Friday, if anybody wants to come up here and join us.
You got it tells you what the positions are.
Oh, okay.
It did.
So this will be posted out there. There's one position for selectmen for 3 years. There's a position on the school board for 3 years and a position for 1 year. And then there's a 3-year position for the water district and a 1-year position for 3 years for the budget committee. So that's 1 for the select board, 2 for the school board, water department, and budget committee. And, John, you can have that. So another, I think, well, I guess it's a happy thing. I'm not positive because they keep redoing the safe harbor, and I mean, I really did go to Rome and pray. So anyway, but I wasn't my fault. The Pope passed away. He was sick before I got there. So this is the new schematic, and what we did was when they couldn't raise the money they needed for the last plan. And I was actually over there when they asked, what do you see happening? I said, what we just want is a really low maintenance safe harbor. We would like just rock. We don't want like cofferdams and cement and all this stuff that will involve maintenance for the town going forward. So they have come up with a design that's all rock and it's going to be just a boat launch with a few floats like they have over there, but it's supposed to be year round, which is great because we don't have anything now. And there's supposed to be a spot for the Marine Patrol. And there's supposed to be a place to, a dry dock to pull your boats out to repair them, and a parking lot. So that is the newest plan. And we're going to talk about it at the Harbor Board tomorrow. But we can only hope. And here's some other little drawing of the angle of the breakwater. It's just going to protect the boat launch now.
When you say it's all rock, does that mean the driveway has been eliminated?
There's not gonna do, no road. It's
No.
big, huge maintenance nightmare for the town. And what we
Projected
wanna
to-
do is, I don't wanna be rolled off the end of my wheelchair when I'm like old.
Oh, we're really up in the middle.
Yeah,
Make sure it's high tide.
still projected,
Oh, I don't know.
okay, no, okay.
They're just trying to salvage the funds so they can
Right.
get this
Okay.
done. But I think this is a little, I'm happy they did something anyway. So that's that. And we did get a response from FEMA, who is going to give us $188,000 for the town wharf right now. The one that's got cattywampus pilings you might see when you drive by. That had storm damage, and they finally came up with a cost analysis. The whole project's going to be $250 something, and the remainder, our share, is going to come from, I believe, the state resiliency grant that I got about a year ago. So we're going to start working on that as well, because we still, that's all we have right now. It needs to be fixed.
Speaking of which, with regard to that, how long are people allowed to leave things on the dock? I mean, most of what's there has been there for,
Oh, you mean the town wharf?
yeah,
I mean that with all those drags and
the
stuff?
commercial pier.
Oh yeah, we go and shoo them off, and
I mean, that
Then-
stuff's been there for a year probably.
it gets cleaned off and re-put right back on. Off, on, off, on. It's-
Who monitors
Well,
that?
the harbor master and the harbor board.
There's no,
There's nobody supposed to even be on there but fishermen.
There's
It's
no-
only for fishermen.
there's no backlash, no penalty or anything for,
We don't have that, no. Yes, what happens is, once that has to be cleared off, and because the season just ended for, recently for urchins, so that's why the reason why there's so much stuff there is because when you're scalloping, you'll have one size drag, and when you're urchining, you'll have another size drag, and some people do both fisheries in the same day, and they have to go and drop their drags and change the drags, and that's why there's drags all over there.
You can't keep, I remember when that happened, you can't keep, logically, you think you could just keep one drag like
It's crazy.
underneath while you're dragging again.
but you can't, no,
You're
it
not
has to be
allowed
off
to do
the
that,
boat.
it has to be off the
But to
boat.
answer your question, if they don't, he'll probably put a notice up that they have to be gone by, like, say, May 1st.
well, for
And
any
then if they're
maintenance
not
staff.
gone, they're all gonna they go to Public Works, comes and gets them, takes them away.
I mean, for
And
any-
then they do have to,
For any maintenance to happen, it's gonna have to be cleared off anyway, I would
well, it
think.
will be cleared up for the maintenance, yes. But it should be cleared up before the summer, the tourists come. Because then they like to go out there and fish and stuff. Does that help any, Mark?
Oh, that's fine, I just
And what
wanted
else
to
were
brought
we
it.
was there something
I
else you
did-
asked me about?
I
Oh,
did have a
the
question.
bids.
Yeah, under other business, I was gonna check, if there was any, update on the personal property tax collection.
That's gonna
Yes,
be an
that's-
executive session.
Yeah.
It's legal. That's why it's on that. So committee updates?
Open septic bids.
Oh, we're doing them now?
Yeah, they're on
What,
the
oh,
agenda.
what's this?
Just a
It's not on
second.
here.
Yes.
Where? I don't have it on there.
Nope.
I don't
Nope.
have it either.
Don't have it either.
No, I have it on for next time. Are you sure it's
I'm
not for May
sure.
7th?
No, that's the other ones.
Well, what are those?
They do
Those are
that,
septic
Ashton.
bids.
Well, it's not on here, but I'm glad to open them
Oh,
up
for
for
the
you.
private
Is that for that
septic.
private septic?
Yes,
Oh,
but it's public anyway.
okay. Okay.
I
Well,
mean,
we'll just
it's
open
free.
them up. But you didn't put it on there.
I didn't.
No.
Was there any advertisement with that, so we can
Oh, yeah.
verify that it was supposed to have been in today?
Yes, there's a board meeting. There's an ad that was placed in the paper.
And it was supposed to be open today?
Yes, I can go get the ad if you'd like. It's right on the
No.
corner of my doorway.
If you want
We
to.
believe you.
So this is for one private individual that got a grant, was that
Yes.
the deal?
Yep.
Who's verifying the, application as being adequate?
The state. We just collect everything and ship it to them, and they have to approve everything before anything's
So
done.
we'll ship them all three then?
So
Yep.
this is,
You're gonna just
7
have to accept the low bid, and then they have to approve it, and then
Nicholas Hall, Inc., 112 Blueberry Lane, it's going to be Hall, 799 County Road, the price is $23,565. Hate these. We're both. Okey-doke. This is from Frankie Hall. Peggy Savage, lump ink pump, 18,700. Do you wanna look at those? And third one is, tell me it's not all. Tank piping pump, field
was it?
installation, final grade, Justin Loring,
Okay.
Loring Construction, 23.5. So can I have the lowest one back? So the lowest one came in with, 18,700. H&S Construction. Who's Frankie Hall? Is that Danny? Is that
I have
Danny,
no
H&S
It could be.
Construction?
There's so many
I
of them.
believe
don't
it
know.
is.
But Frankie must be his son.
Yeah.
Must
Hey.
be his son. Okay, so that, I make a motion, we accept the lowest bid of 18,700, and then the state review, whoever reviews it, but they put in multitudes of septic systems, I don't think there's gonna be a problem with that.
I'll second the motion. I don't need to see him because I don't understand him anyway.
Well, now that we've seconded it, I would say that, you know, I mean, I would entertain voting in favor of a motion that said accepting the low bid if it met the requirements of the state. Because you've got three bids, two of them are within $50 of one another, very accurate. And then you've got another one that's $5,000 less. And I don't know enough about it to determine whether the
I
low
think
person is.
that's fine to put in the motion, that's a standard acceptance, that you have to accept the lowest bid. If for some reason the state kicks it out because it's not, doesn't fit the requirements, it goes to the next lowest bid. But if you want to put that in the motion itself, that's fine, that just covers us. Do we have a second on Mark's motion?
No, I didn't make, well,
Well-
you gotta
I can adjust the motion
Amend
to
it.
include that.
amend it
Okay.
to include that.
Okay,
I'll second the amendment. The,
Okay.
you know, because I think it just, I mean, bids are good. And, you know, I would have been much happier if all three of them were within $100 of each other. But when you have two that are within $100 of each other and the other one is $4,800
well,
less.
who's to speculate why that was?
don't
I
know.
can think of many reasons. So,
We have all three.
yes, I won't mention. So do we have a second, on the motion, the revised motion?
That'd be me.
You're here.
All in favor? All right, so we were at committee updates.
The next Shellfish Committee meeting will be May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, here in this room, 6 p.m.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
I need to also report to the board regarding the Rogers Island Access Site Survey. We had no responses.
Nobody wanted to do a survey?
It was on there almost 2 months. I let it go an extra 4 days. I checked with Penny today and she said we had no responses. So I don't know how to interpret that, but it would overtly be that there's no interest in that access site. Well, to continue the conversation, I don't believe the town can sell the site. And then there's the shared use with the septic system in the site. And since the failure of the septic system, and it was revealed that part of the problem may have been the knotweed grove that grew there, we agreed to maintain that.
I think we need to.
Yes, I had some conversations with Vicki about road salt, if I could take some road salt and just try it out, putting it on the clumps and see if it inhibits their growth. I'm willing to try and do that, although Vicki thought that wouldn't be the best salt. But we need to do something about the site, whether or not there's any interest.
We just have non-caustic salt, You know, I mean,
Well, it's the same road salt they use on the road, which washes into the ocean.
oh, you mean just the salt, not the sand with it, just the
Right,
plain
yeah,
salt?
just the salt, just the salt.
Well, I think that would
I
be
think
something,
it's a-
you
a-
do
a
an
low budget-
experiment,
A low budget approach.
and it absolutely is, and your feeling about it?
I hope it works, but as somebody who's still fighting with it in the back of our house.
Right.
Yeah,
that knotweed
I'd be
is-
very interested.
I totally understand. I will say one thing, that the burn off that the fire company did after it was all chopped down,
Did a
it
lot.
certainly has inhibited.
Yeah.
it.
Good deal.
Well, that's
Maybe
good.
it won't be too bad trying to keep it under control.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for your support.
Thank you for doing that.
Oh, I should just say there is a harbor board meeting tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Yep. Thank you.
Anybody
And we
that
have
wants
a
to
chair.
come? And we have a chair. That's excellent. Any other committee updates? Public comment. Go on.
My name is David Ulmer. I hope you'll just kind of bear with me for just a few minutes. I live out on Carrion Place Cove Road,
Hmm?
and at the end of the road, the owner of the house installed a street light that he's using for security on his house. It's not on the street, and it's directed right at my house.
Ew.
So at the time, we contacted Versant. They tried to change the light around a little bit.
Mhm.
It's still very bright, but it was there before we were, so we sort of bear with it. But since then, we have a project that's ongoing next to our home, and the same individual has installed a very, very bright street light, LED, and it lights up the entire side of my house and property. So I approached them and asked them just to go out there and take a look at this light, maybe something can be done about it, and go out there at nighttime, put himself in my shoes and see if we would do something about it. Well, what he did is he added another one in the back part of the property, so that lights up the back part of my house and then the rest of the property. So I have a couple of pictures here, they don't do it justice.
Well,
I'm just
I,
hoping that maybe something can be done about this, and I will say that, you know, the state of
I
Maine
sympathize
considers
with you.
this, you know, light pollution, and they've even are giving funds to the Maine PA to deal with this light pollution, and, you know, I've lived in other coastal communities that you would never allow lights like
We don't
this,
have
because
that.
they really do interfere with, you know, the wildlife and migratory birds and things like that. I'm hoping you'll just take a look at my pictures here.
well, I feel for you. I can't stand bright lights. I don't know what we can do in the short term. I think it's going to involve
just give you
like
some advice.
ordinances and
The
legal.
first
issues.
is the light that's down the street, and then this is the light that's on the corner right over the house.
And for
Do you know anything
Maybe-
about dark?
Maybe
Dark
the
green.
land use ordinance
The
committee.
one pole is
Land
a
use
street,
ordinance committee.
pole, you know, it has a number.
Can't
like the
do anything
number
until we
and
pass.
everything.
Okay, so one is a Versant pole with a number.
I think they're both on poles, but.
Well, we're in the
I reached out
process.
to them, I reached out to, you know,
We do have a tentative,
Right, yeah.
Dick and I scheduled to circumvent the entire town and get all the polls written down. Because Versant did tell us that what they do is they need poll numbers of what ones
So
we
would those two poles
request.
now come on to our electric bill?
If they're owned by the town, but if
So,
they're privately
no.
the
owned,
understanding I have
means
from Versant is that
that
They
they
own.
install the lights, but the owner of the buildings actually pays for the electricity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because
So-
Ursula had one
But
of
I mean,
those
they're
security
full of
lights, and
utility
she paid
poles,
for it.
and
Have they tried, we had that issue, I remember that Cohills didn't like, and they put up like a shield.
But that's in the
That's-
town
that's
proper.
right.
This is
Yeah, but
private
I'm just saying it's
property.
something maybe
That
the
only
gentleman,
Solution for that land.
Yeah,
That's
we
right.
have
Yeah,
no
I think that
authorization.
if the light is redirected or do anything else, it's just gonna be somebody else's problem. And, so, I don't know. I know that, the state also has mandated some new legislation on, commercial properties, what they can and can't do, and,
This isn't commercial property.
well,
Right.
it looks like it's a rental. I mean, I don't know what he's doing now, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't agree with what he's doing, but I'll defend his right because it is his property. So, but,
Can I see the picture?
The first picture is the light that's down the end of the street. The bottom two pictures are the front of my house, and then you can just visualize that the back is the same thing.
But what did he say when you went to him?
He didn't say anything. He felt that it was security or something. I don't know. So, I mean, I don't even know if he even realizes how bright they are. So,
Well, does he live there?
no.
Oh. Well, we're working on a land use ordinance. The only thing I can think of is that we try to figure out how we can have language for darker,
Darker
what is that
skies.
called?
Yeah,
Darker.
I actually have some
Sky.
stuff from Dark Skies.
Dark
Yeah.
skies.
And,
If we can incorporate that in our land use ordinance, but the whole thing has to be passed by the town and the ordinance has to be written. It's not an easy fix.
well, there are actually a number of communities that are actually dealing with this also. So
Mhm.
I know there's other
Yeah.
resources and guides and things like that. And I'd be more than happy to volunteer.
Do we need
Have
somebody
you ever
else?
attended any of the planning board meetings or the
No, no,
You
but
should.
I,
Land use.
land
There's a
use too? Yeah.
ordinance. You
Yeah.
set an ad hoc committee up to do this, and this is an issue for that. And I would suggest you provide some information
Yeah.
regarding
I could do
light
that.
pollution and how it's measured.
When is the
And
next,
then-
when is the next land use ad hoc
They're
meeting?
actually, the 29th, because we went to the last
the 29th.
meeting, because we're not gonna be here the 29th.
29th at when?
Be the perfect
When?
night
5.
to show up and talk to them, because they are really looking at moving forward for
29th
this
of April.
town meeting, some proposed safety ordinances, but realizing in the future, some other things are gonna be needed. And I know besides the ordinance piece, there's been a lot of discussion in town over the last few years about the invasion of light at night,
It's light
you
pollution,
know.
I mean.
Yep.
so.
It
Yeah.
never gets dark in town.
No,
Yeah.
it
No.
doesn't, you know.
Well, that's
and
what we're
so-
talking about, turning every other
The-
light off
right.
for
Yeah.
that
And then-
same
And we
reason.
spend a ridiculous amount of money with electrical lights for our street lights.
So the 29th at 5 o'clock is the next land use
Okay.
ad hoc committee. You might even want to volunteer to be on
Yeah,
it.
you might wanna talk
The
about
only
that.
thing I'll add is that, you know, we have a lot of people who have, you know, porch lights and everything, and that's not an issue. I mean,
Right.
it's not actually kind of nice to see that
Some
there are other
point-
people out
yes.
there.
Right.
No, this is outrageous. I
That
totally
is.
agree with you. It's
Yeah.
That
too,
is.
If you
He
can make that
probably doesn't
meeting, and
realize.
again, the town is certainly pushing forward, trying to get, because we can't really do anything until we get a land use ordinance approved, then we can
and
start.
then we have a
submitting.
code enforcement
Right.
officer that can go and say, look, this isn't, you can't do this with our ordinance. We have a new dark sky, or, that's what you, so any information you have should go to the land use
Yeah,
committee. Do
should
you
go
need
to
this
the meeting
picture
on
back?
29th.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you very
bringing
much.
that to
And that's
our
right
attention.
here, right?
Yeah, the meeting's
Yeah.
right here, 5
Right
It's
o'clock.
right
here.
here.
29th.
It's a week from
this
Tuesday.
room.
It's this coming Tuesday at 5.
Oh, okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very
Thank
much.
you
very
for
much.
your time.
Okay, anything else? Then we shall adjourn to executive session, MRSA 4056A, personnel matters.
Hey, don't sit, I'm gonna get everything.
Don't talk.
They just get put off like the whatever it is with the assessor.
We're bringing the warrants back on hand.
Yes, that's yours. I think that's an interesting subject, the dark sky issue, don't you?
It is. It is.
Isn't
And in
Campobello,
fact, it's something that some communities advertise that they have,
Right.
Right.
is a dark sky.
I
Yep.
think Campobello's under dark skies, aren't they? I believe me. if
I
remember.
don't know, but I think that's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I agree.
Oh my God, you can land at 747.
Well,
coming
what
into
happened
town
was,
at night.
Mark works on, I heard you ask the question, Mark works